What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and I know I don't normally do these, but this is your guide to the Black Friday prize walls, because there's a lot. There is just a stinking lot. So how do you decide what's good, what you want to get out of it, and etc.? Well, I'm here to help. This Black Friday, there is some super special stuff in here. So first and foremost, these straps are brand new and they are now meta defining, right? 150% gem damage strap. Previous to this, there was some 130s, but they were super rare. These are obviously super rare. It's very spendy, and the only reason you're watching this is because you spent and you're trying to make sure you get the most out of what you spent, right? But they're super spendy right off rip. And so these are going to be a great choice. They are random in terms of what era, but other than that, era and class, I should say, other than that, like, you know you're getting 150% gem damage strap. They've taken away the male to female restrictions on there. It's ultimate. So yeah, these are one thing to talk about. And then now they've got 100% gem defense strap. So coming along with 150 gem damage, now you've for the first time got gem defense as well. Shredder, a few others that you might run as super gem defensey, but you know, like that's a thing. So right off the bat, there's some crazy things on this prize wall. So let's talk about best things to go for. You can see, or you could have seen a second ago, you can kind of see it a little bit right down there, that I have 147K myself. So I'm waiting for, sorry, before I say anything else, the biggest thing is wait till the end of the event. Like, not when the prize wall is done, but when all of the rewards have come in. Because the spend event on the portal ends in like a day and a half, and you've got 2.5 days on the prize wall here. The spend event on the, this is a big spend event, right? On the in-game milestones doesn't end for another day plus. So wait till you get all of the resources you know you're going to get, unless you absolutely know you want one specific thing. So wait is always the right response there. If you can get Uncle Howdy is very stinking good. And yeah, you're going to need him to unlock your White 6 moment if you didn't get Abby the Witch, and etc. etc. So Uncle Howdy is by far like a big go-to, right? Big go-to on this one. But within reasonable reach, it seems like 40K for these 150% gem damage straps is not super outlandish for a spend event. I mean, especially compared to, look at everything else around it, where it's like 300 plus K. 39K is great. 40K functionally. I would do the gem damage over the gem defense, but there is a lot of to be said about gem defense stuff now. The Leonardo plate, the Final Boss plate, the Brett the Hitman plate, the Lion's Gaze, the etc. etc. Anything you can do that is gem defense like that is going to add to that. So I would prioritize personally 150% gem damage strap as one of the highest things on there, if you can't get Uncle Howdy, of course. Then from there, you've got some characters. So where do I rate them? Dusty Rhodes is super rare, and his price tag in the game like shows that. NOD Rock is very good if you've got Goldberg and Seth for his Juggernaut setup. Austin is one of the top powerhouses still. Lost a little bit of his stride in 6 gold and without 99 MP, but still super good. But the big get is Sherry. If you don't have Sherry and you get 261,999 medallions, Sherry is a roster changer for her trainer ability alone. She's not a great fighter. She's fine, but not great. But definitely the way to go there. Devon is okay. Samu is good. Undertaker is good. Tori's good. Bronson's good. I mean, all across the board, you're not going to make a bad choice getting any of them on your roster if you can't get Sherry. But I would not take Devon over Sherry. I would not take Bionic Austin over Sherry. I would not take NOD Rock over Sherry. I would not take Dusty over Sherry. So in that price category, if you don't have Sherry, 100% she's the one to get right there. In this next price category, Samu, Taker, Tori, and Bronson, there's not really a bad pick. Undertaker and Tori have really good trainer coaching abilities. I don't know in terms of meta relevance that any of them are going to be your go-to, but all of them are very, very good. So not a bad choice there. Next tier down is kind of Sheamus through Brawny Braun. And again, there's not a bad choice, but the best choice is Braun Breaker. If you don't have Braun Breaker, just like Sherry, Braun is your double 4 MP trainer, and you want him, right? Blue and yellow, you want him if you don't have him. For his trainer ability alone, but he's also a really good fighter. Drew McIntyre, when he was the only one who made more Pyro Gems, was a must-have for William Regal. Now you've got Tama Tonga and Maxine. So you don't need Drew McIntyre for literally anything in the game anymore at this point. Sheamus is a great fighter, especially if you have the Imperium, or really if you have the Imperium moment. But the reality of the story is that he is in a lot of the 6-star gold loots, and there's ways you can get him otherwise, but not a bad choice. Braun, really, to make him meta relevant now, you need the new Solo. If you don't have him, he's still good, but he's lost a bit of his shine. Gears wise, I would not go for the Triple H gear unless you're just a Pokemon collector. Triple H is not meta relevant anymore. He was my favorite tech for a while. Not the case. Yellow gear for Julius Magulius is very good. The big thing you want with him is the Tama plate. And if you have the Tama plate, you really don't necessarily need the gear because you don't use anything but his 2 purple moves and the match is over. However, for boss battle, and if you just want to use props and hit insane damage, his multiply gem build, just basically put the multiply gem move and the 2 purples with the Tama plate is phenomenal. And if you don't have the Tama plate, that is the way to get him big damage, as our friend Sir Zorro would say. For the Aussie Loudmouth, let's just say both of the Grayson Waller gears, reasonably priced, 100,000 and 140. But I mean, again, if you're gonna go 240, you got other things up there that you should be taking instead of Grayson. The one big one would be William Regal's black vest and black robe. William Regal needs 1 gear to be absolutely the best character in the game. 2 gears, and he's just insanely nutty, like left, right, center, right? But if you have Regal, getting 1 gear means you don't need MP trainers at all, which means that you can run some insane stuff. Sherry, Seth, etc. Right? Any of your multiply up guys would be insane, or are insane, with William Regal. And I may or may not have pulled 150% gem damage strap for William Regal. So as soon as that plate mover currency resets in a day and a half, oh my gosh, you're going to see some content on that, right? Because he is going to... Again, Regal just keeps getting more and more insane no matter what you do. So that would be, like, if you have William Regal and don't have 1 gear for him, that would be perhaps my top priority on the wall. But that's situational, obviously, very situational. I'm going to see, you can see I've got 147. I might be in striking distance to get Regal's vest. I don't know. That's going to be it's going to be a hard prize ball pick for me. Oof. Brett, his gear is fine. He does well with it. Brett's not a game changer for anything except for his coaching ability, so I personally wouldn't take it. But if he's your best striker, the gear makes him much better. Gets his MP started, right? Batista, that gear, if you didn't get it, is super helpful, and he is a very good free striker, like very, very good. The other row here, Theory is not meta relevant anymore, even with his gear. Sammy, it's just not meta relevant even with his gear, but it does help. And Mighty Molly is way past her stride, but I love the Mighty Molly gear. I loved that character. So that's up to you. Here's something I would say. This right here, this is legitimately one of the things I want to take no matter what. Like, I want to have an extra 8,000 no matter what else I pick, because who doesn't need 40 tier 5 Fury 2 medals? Like, legitimately, every of your top characters, every of the ones needs one of those. And while I have a boatload of Takedown 2 medals sitting there, I am always needing Fury 2 medals. So if you get nothing else, that would be like in my top picks, right? So let's talk 150 gem damage straps, kind of my top pick. This is like almost up there with it for 8,000. Random class 100%. I mean, for 10K, if that's what you got, that is well worth your 10K. However, here's where I would say I would not choose the 10K or the 100% gem damage strap over the Insatiable Hunger. The Insatiable Hunger is not a game-breaking plate, but for 10K, if that's what you've got, you never know when a character is going to show up that all of a sudden that plate makes them better or even the best, right? Similarly with the Down the Rabbit Hole, it doesn't really make anybody like game-breakingly good right now, but that could easily change. One character with that plate, that might be all the difference. So anytime there's rare plates like that are within reach, I would personally take the Pig Boy plate over the 100% gem damage straps, because you can get those 100% gem damage straps on pretty much every month-long prize wall. So that's my argument for it there. The 60% ones are just kind of a concession if you can't get anything else, but they're fine. They're good. They're very good. Let's talk moments now. I would not personally take any of these moments over Sherry. I would not personally take any of these moments over the 150% gem damage strap. I would not personally take any of these moments over the Pig Boy plate of all things. However, there are certain characters that if you don't have these moments, it could change things for you. Specifically, two of them. The Imperium moment, if you have that, if you don't have it, it's well worth getting. If you have Sheamus and have him built up. Because Showboat Sheamus with the Imperium moment, very, very, very good. Helps everybody from Imperium and the Brawling Brutes, but he's the best for it. The NXT Arrival moment, if that's one that you are missing, is huge on a lot of characters. Pretty much any of your NXT characters. Wes Lee does better with it. Sami Zayn does better with it. You know, go down the list. Tori Wilson moment, really best on Tori. So if you have her and don't have the moment, that could do some things for sure. Otherwise, you know, it helps others like Stacy Keibler and some others, but it's not amazing. It's definitely good for Tori though. Heartbreaking Manager is one I want, and I really want it for a few of my characters. I'm not going to prioritize that, however, over straps and etc. so far. Tiffy moment's good. Final Testament moment for 15. That's a big one, but again, you can get that on most midweek prize walls, whereas we don't know when the Huskus and the Rabbit plate are going to show back up, and we definitely know that the 150% gem damage straps are going to be rare. Then you got your Showboat bags, your Technician bags, your Powerhouse, so on. These are good. Really, that's just if you have like leftover currency and can't spend on them. So that's where I'm at with these. I would not prioritize the moment super high. I would prioritize these plates as a secondary, like if you have some leftovers, because we just never know when those are going to come back. The biggest things I would go for would be this Tier 5 Fury 2 metal chest, gear if you need it, but really I would go the Tier 5 2 metal chest, the 150% gem damage straps. Those are the biggest. If you can get Howdy, obviously he'd be the biggest, but other than that, the 150% and the Tier 5 chest, Sherry and Braun. Those are going to be the biggest ones if you don't have them. William Regal's gears situationally, if you don't have his gear but do have Regal, absolutely prioritize that. The rest of the gears are good. The yellow gear for Creed for Julius Creed is great, but that would kind of be my assessment of those. Now let's look at all of these. Like, if you probably got a Huskus the Pig Boy, and you can see what I chose. I chose the RK Overload. I already have one. I'm really not using it on anybody. I personally don't like that plate very much, but again, you never know when something's going to show up. I personally have Stacy, D'Lo, and Karrion Kross, and I've got those two gears. If I didn't have something from those, let's say I didn't have any of this, what would I have gotten? Stacy is a very good powerhouse female, and powerhouse females are super spendy to try and get. So I would go for her if you don't have her. She's amazing up to 6 silver with her basic move set. And then if you have Seth and or Goldberg, she's amazing at 6 gold as well. But it takes some turns to get her going. D'Lo, if you don't have D'Lo, also super good. Really could be a powerful acrobat on your roster. If you don't have Jacob Fatu, Muda, some of those super spendy guys, D'Lo is a definite go-to. Karrion Kross, unfortunately, doesn't hold up in the current meta. He's a Pokemon character. For the gear for Becky Lynch, I think that's been fairly available a lot. It's in the little hanger prize wall if you want to do that. I personally wouldn't spend on it. I would do obviously I did do a second RK Overload, but I would do any of the other things over that. NXT gear for Baron Corbin, that's good for him. He's not super meta relevant anymore. He was like the best free-to-play trickster, but nowadays, if you've got Ozzy and Donatello, you're covered. You're covered. So I would prioritize the plate or the characters. The gear is, if you need it, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so from Huskus to Rambling Rabbit, let's see what I picked. And this one surprised me. I honestly thought I was going to take the Glowing Fate. I have 2 Glowing Fates, so that's why I took Maurice's gear of all things. But I wouldn't do that again. If I was missing anything else on here, that's not what I would get. Hulk Hogan, extremely good, definitely worth getting, but he's a Voltron character or a Megazord character, meaning he needs all sorts of pieces to come together. If you have all sorts of those pieces, then he goes from good to better to better to better to great, right? But you need a lot to make him really, really top. So if you don't have him, well worth taking. Razor by himself is very good. With gear is phenomenal, but Tech is now the most loaded class for males. So if you have Ilya, if you have Miz, if you have Mercy the Buzzard now that's coming out, really coming out this weekend, if you've got Shredder, you're covered, right? Techs are covered. But it never hurts to have another great one, and Razor Ramon is a great tech, especially with his gear. Scott Steiner, no longer meta relevant, but definitely still good. Will cover your Steiner requirements, so worth doing there as well. Glowing Fate is very good. If you have all 3 of those characters, I would go straight for the Glowing Fate and wouldn't even question it. I only didn't take it because I already had 2. But other than that, I would 100% take it. Andrade's gear is not good. Andrade is not good. I wouldn't waste the time on it. But again, if he's one of your go-tos and you don't have the gear, go ahead. And the only reason I took Maurice's gear is for a project that I'm going to work on and because I had the rest. So there you go. If you get a Mercy puppet, I did get up to Mercy. I spent enough up to Mercy, so you can see I went with the Red Razor gear, and now my Razor Ramon is worth talking about, right? But if you don't have Carmelo is 100% the get here. Go after Carmelo, get him if you don't have him, but you got to Mercy the Buzzard. That double MP trainer, he is fine but not great in the current meta as a fighter, but his MP trainer ability, double MP, black and purple, is always going to be important in the game. So that's your number 1 get for the Mercy prize wall. From there, I would put it between the Unbreakable Crown and Bubba if you don't have Razor. But if you do have Razor, the number 2 get is by far the Red Razor gear. I have Carmelo, so I didn't need him, so I went Red Razor right away. But if you have Razor and have Mello, I would go for the gear. After that, number 3, I would say Bubba or Unbreakable Crown. Unbreakable Crown by itself doesn't make anyone super top tier, but very accessible Ninja Turtle plates that have been coming out. There's 2 of them, one that's green to yellow, the other that's yellow to green. If you do green to yellow, it just basically, like, you do the Unbreakable plate, you break yellow, you get green, it stacks a lot of them. If you do the opposite color, you break the yellow, he makes the green, which then also makes yellows, so it kind of recycles itself once at least. Macho Man, as much as I was super pumped to get him in the loot, video coming soon, spoiler, he's not meta relevant in any way, shape, or form, although that's one of my favorite gimmicks of all time. Then we come to Abby the Witch. I did not, and likely will not, get Abby the Witch because I am tapped out, friends. But my goodness, I wish I had gotten one. This is an embarrassment of riches right here. If you got Abby the Witch and don't have OTC, get OTC. He's phenomenal. If you got Abby the Witch and don't have Muda, get Muda. He's phenomenal. That's my 1A, 1B on this. Number 2, I would say, is Maxine's gear. If I magically had gotten 2 Abby the Witches, I would have gone Muda and Maxine's gear like that. Yeah, Fatu is very good, but not going to be he's not on the level of Roman Reigns and Great Muta. Let's put it that way. So if you're missing all 3, but you got Abby the Witch, make a very hard coin flip between OTC and Great Muta, and you're going to be happy either way. Fatu is very good. I really like him. Obviously, last year's Black Friday character. Then you've got the True Form gear. If you magically have Invisible Cena, great, go for that. But I wouldn't go for it unless you have everything else on this prize wall, frankly. I mean, it's a Pokemon type of a situation there. Lastly, I would say the Timeless Style. Timeless Style has some, like on Muda, for example, Timeless Style on Tiffy. You know, there's a number of people that Timeless Style really works well on. But personally, I think that's going to be more available down the road than Maxine's gear. And really just, my goodness, Muda and Roman are roster changing. Quite frankly, roster changing. So if you got Abby the Witch, that's where I would go. So that's my prize wall breakdown for you on all of these mini prize walls. Let me know what you think in the comments section. What did you take? What will you take if you get certain things? And then like the video, share this with your friend and faction mates, because you're going to want to make some hard decisions here this Black Friday if you spent. And if you went a little overboard like I did, you're going to have some hard choices. And maybe I'll make a video in a day or two of me making some hard choices, because my goodness, these prize walls, this is if you spent, this is a great set of prize walls all around. So anyway, that's it for this video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. And, thanks for letting us be content creators with you guys. This is an honor. It's a privilege, and we really enjoy it. So hopefully you enjoy it too. See you on the next one. Bye.